So coming from WoW, when I started playing Final Fantasy, I started noticing a lot of really weird systems with the endgame. Mostly that the endgame doesn't really have many ways that you can play your job. You know, the one you leveled up from 1 to 80, the one you spent hundreds of hours on, the one you went through the entire story with, the one you spent all this time mastering and getting good at. Yeah, you can't actually play that much. You can play it in extreme trials, normal raids, and hard raids, and that's basically it. Ah yes, how could I forget about expert roulettes and duty roulette level 80 dungeons, or leveling roulettes, or the main scenario roulette. Yeah, there's basically nothing to do in this game once you've reached max level. I mean, of course there are. The raids are really hard. The ultimates are extremely hard. Alright? But you see, the thing is, to do the ultimates and to do the savage raids, you need to be able to practice your job. Not just practice it in the fight, but also practice it at all so that you know you're not messing up your rotation. But it's not that easy, because you could just hit a training dummy to practice your rotation, but it's a big difference between practicing your rotation against a training dummy and against something you're doing mechanics against. So really, you have to go into stupid easy content like normal mode raids or story mode trials to even practice your job for high-end stuff, which is just ridiculous. But let's say, you know, you do kill all the raid bosses, you get everything you want to get done, and you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I got my bis, I'm gonna go take a break. And then you come back next patch to do the next raids. Well, guess what? There's gonna be new craftable armor that came out, which is cool. You know, having crafting be relevant in an MMORPG is fun. But the craftable armor in this game is the exact same item level as the best in slot armor from the previous tier, which means that it's literally just as good stat-wise. Which is actually wrong, because it's actually better because you can overmeld it, which means you could put more sockets in it than the old best in slot gear. So your best in slot gear that you farmed out has no purpose whatsoever. It really, really, really pisses me off whenever this happens. It doesn't make any sense, and it's always been like this. It's really weird how you always have a clear advantage in raids when you don't raid, but gold farm. And apparently, it's always been like this. When I first started playing at the end of Stormblood, I transitioned over to Shadowbringers, geared up my character, got all the best gear from the trials and the normal mode raids, and then when the hard modes came out, I was just fucked. It blew my mind. It made me so upset that I actually quit the game for the rest of that tier. And I didn't come back until a couple months ago. A lot of people who come over to Final Fantasy like to say that Mythic Plus would suit this game really well, and a lot of Final Fantasy veterans even think that Mythic Plus would be a good addition to this game. And while I don't necessarily disagree, I don't think Mythic Plus as it is in World of Warcraft could work in Final Fantasy, because Mythic Plus in WoW is basically just an alternative to raiding or PvP as a different path for endgame progression, as opposed to, you know, raiding or PvP. And in Final Fantasy, I don't know why, but I feel like the scalability of gear infinitely, you know, from worse than Tombstone gear to better than raid gear would be horrible for the environment of the game. That being said, I think if they implemented Mythic Plus just like it was in WoW and gave no rewards, it would actually be really good. Or maybe didn't give no rewards, but gave like cosmetic rewards. I feel like that would work really, really well. But if they added it like it was in WoW today, I just think that would be a detriment to the game. But if they did add it, regardless of the rewards, I feel like that would be a perfect way to actually play your class and practice your rotation. Because the expert dungeons, the reason they're no good for practicing your job is because they're so dead easy. If you have a semi-competent tank and a competent healer, you can pull every single piece of trash between the bosses and then AoE it all down, which is cool and fun, but it's a horrible way to practice your job. And you know how you enter in cheat codes in GTA and you feel really powerful and you have fun for like 6 seconds and then you turn the game off? That's just what it feels like. It's cool to be able to do these giant AoE pulls and melt everything down, but it gets boring really, really fast. And it's a horrible way to get better at your player character. Because, let's face it, a lot of the player character AoE rotations are dead simple. Like, really simple. You look at any tank or melee AoE rotation, and they're bafflingly easy. And as a matter of fact, I feel like doing nothing but AoEing would make you worse as a player. So there's actually a cure to all of my ails and complaints in the game already. And it comes in the form of quitting my real-life job, quitting my current static, joining a 20-hour-a-week or more static, and doing nothing but raiding until all the bosses are dead. Which I'm kind of tempted to do. I won't actually quit my job, I won't actually abandon my friends, but it seems so tempting, so alluring to actually be able to play this game and feel a sense of progression more than 6 hours a week. Because that's really all the time where I can progress my character, is 6 hours a week. Pugging the Shiva right now is horrible, alright? Practicing your rotation in any content that you've already cleared, like the previous bosses or the previous trial bosses that you've already killed, is pointless. There's no way to practice my character as it is right now. It's crazy. I mean, unless I quit my job, of course. But I'm not really sure if this is the worst part, but the devs know about all of these things that I've said. They know that higher level players, and by higher level players, I don't even mean like hardcore raiders or anything like that. I just mean anybody that wants stuff to do with their higher level class. The devs know that higher level players don't really have anything to do most of the time. They really just have the new raids on hard mode, the new trials, and the new trials on hard mode. And the devs have come out and said, listen, this is a Final Fantasy game first and an MMO second. We don't make our game for hardcore raiders, we make it for the casual audience. You know, sometimes we put out hardcore content, but if you feel like there's no reason for you to stay subscribed, then go ahead and unsubscribe. We're okay with that. They have come out and said that multiple times. So really, me making this video isn't really, you know, going to do anything, even if it got billion views. The devs wouldn't change their mind. I'm really just stating my opinions on the matter and how I feel about it. I think it's a shame that they don't want to put more focus on playing your job at endgame. And it's one of the big reasons why I don't play Final Fantasy XIV more. I spend a lot of my time playing Classic WoW, Retail WoW, or other games, but if Final Fantasy had serious endgame activities to do with your job that were even a slight bit difficult, I feel like I'd play only this game and nothing else. But as it stands now, you know, there's not too much reason to keep playing this game once you've achieved all your goals until the next patch comes out, which I feel like is a big waste of opportunity and something that I hope changes in the future. I doubt it will, but, you know, I thought I'd get my thoughts and opinions out there. So, thanks for watching the video. Hey, maybe subscribe to the channel. Maybe like it. Maybe comment. Maybe tell me I'm a big butthead. You know, you can dislike the video too. It doesn't actually do anything bad for me. It's actually a good thing if you dislike the video. So, you know, go ahead. Dislike it. Do it. You won't. You fucking won't. You fucking won't.